Welcome back to another BJKU Q&A session, talking today about AI Strategist content. And this is a follow-up from one of our previous videos where I explained that there's really only three pillars, three sections that you should focus on. If you want to make AI strategy a new career, a new business for yourself, you got to understand there's really only one of these pillars you should be focused on. And we'll talk about that in a second, but a lot of you wrote in asking the question, okay, cool, this all sounds good, Stephen, but where do I start? And I'm going to point to the top left here. And number one, it's who you know, where you are, and what you know. And I'll explain that here in a second here. But let me just do a quick recap of these pillars. Pillar number one is lead capture and conversion. That means you are going to help businesses implement AI to help them get more sales and business and leads and capture and convert them. What does that mean? Like marketing, advertising. And if you look at this, you would use ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever to help you to write offers and write advertising and write sales copy. You would use things like Lovable and Manus to help them build new websites and use automations to create lead capture systems and CRM follow-ups and email campaigns and text message campaigns, all of that good stuff. So that all falls into the lead capture conversion pillar. Number two is the product, service, and fulfillment. This is what happens after a business gets the money. So now they got to deliver a product. They got to deliver a service. They need to be able to answer questions. They need to be able to talk about tracking and delivery and all those status things and just basic communication with the customer and the warehouse and everyone else who's involved in that product fulfillment side. Now, the last one is operations, and this is where you start to get into invoicing and helping people to create standard operating procedures and explain workflows and just how the business works behind the scenes. So it's not customer facing, but it's behind the scenes. How does the team communicate? How do they answer emails? How do they get in support tickets? Like, how do they do all this stuff? So that's all good and well and fine, but the question that was asked is like, okay, again, Stephen, like, where do I start? And again, we go back to what you know, where you are, and who you know. So let me give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Every single person on this planet has one of these three. If you don't, you can go educate yourself on one of them. Now, rarely have I seen anybody have all three of them, right? Maybe you're like me and you've been trapped in your office for the last couple of years and you haven't really gone out to networking events and met people and gone to seminars and all these things and you just don't know a lot of people. Okay, that's fine. You should focus on where you are and what you know. Now, let's say where you are is in the middle of nowhere. One of our AI students right now, him and his wife, they live in the middle of nowhere. Like there's 80 people. There's more polar bears there than there are people. So they probably aren't going to build an AI business locally inside of their little town, right? So you might say that you live in a big city. You live in New York. You live in I don't know, anywhere around the world where there's a lot of meetups, there's a lot of business networking, there's a lot of different people you can go and talk to and meet in person. That might be you. Or number three, it's what you know. Maybe you're a really good website designer. Maybe you're a really good graphic designer. Maybe you're really good at videography or photography or something along those lines. You're just really good at that stuff. And by doing that for so many years, you have a portfolio of work you can share your advice and expertise and all this good stuff. So what does this mean? Well, here's what I'd like you to do today. If you want to start this AI strategist thing as a career or as a business, the first thing you need to do is take an inventory of what you know, where you are, and who you know. Number one, in the AI strategist program, when I'm working with people one-on-one, I teach them the first thing is like, let's do your dream 25, meaning who are the 25 people that you know that know somebody? Not that you go to your friends and family and try to sell them AI services because your friends and family aren't in the market for AI services, but they probably know a business owner. They probably had someone come repair their deck. They probably had someone come fix their air conditioning. They probably know a plumber. They probably know somebody. So you want to ask those people, who do you know that knows somebody? Who do you know that owns a business? I'm thinking about starting this AI thing as a business. I'd like to turn into business someday. Would you introduce me to somebody who owns a business in XYZ? So that's number one. Number two is where you are. Now, physically, if you are in a city or an area that has a lot of businesses, a lot of people you can go meet and talk to, and I don't recommend you go door knock. I don't recommend that, but I would recommend you go to these networking events and you go meet people. Go to the happy hours. Some cities that I've been in, there's a networking event every night of the week. And you can go to the local happy hour and you can meet the real estate agents and the bankers and the mortgage brokers and the network marketers and the insurance people. And you can meet a lot of different people in a lot of different industries. And you can just start to have a conversation. Hey, I'm getting in this AI thing. What are some of the challenges you face? What are some of the things that you would like to automate in your business, in your life? Last one here is what you know. And again, like we already talked about, if you've been a web designer, if you've been a graphic designer, if you've been really good at this stuff, you can show off that work. And one of the things that you can do, if you're a really good consultant, as an example, you probably have some past consulting clients you can go speak to. If you've been a really good coach, you probably have students you've worked with in the past. So you want to really take an inventory first and foremost of what you know, where you are, and who you know. Then your next step is to go back into these pillars that I mentioned in that other video. And that one takes a little bit, gives a little bit more in-depth description here. So just looking at these pillars, which one would you focus on? I'm a marketing guy. I've been a marketing guy for 20 years. So it was a natural progression for me to go into advertising and websites and landing pages and all of that good stuff. You might have more experience in customer service. You might have more experience in operations for big businesses. Whatever it is, you got to take a look at what you know, who you know, and where you are. So listen, I hope this answered your question here today. And if you got more of them, come join us. Every single week we do one of these live webinars. You can come ask Bashar and I live questions about this business model and what we're doing and how we're doing it, how we're making money and all that good stuff. So if you enjoyed this one, come join us live. You'll see the link somewhere in the description.